I'm Debbie Klughers, host of Keepin It Green. We're at the Ronald Reagan building an international trade center in beautiful Washington, D.C. And we are at the 11th National Conference on Science, Policy, and the Environment. It's sponsored by the National Council for Science and the Environment, and this year's theme is Our Changing Oceans. We're going to go inside and we're going to interview as many people as we can, find out what they think the problems are facing the oceans, what the solutions are, and what you, as the viewing audience, can do to help out. You're also going to see some of the lectures that are given by some of the most amazing, talented, and brilliant scientists that our planet has to offer you. And the outcome of the conference will hopefully influence decision makers, policy makers, and the general public in order to find ways to help out the oceans. So I hope you guys enjoy the show, and come on, let's go check it out.
Facility, which again is a research program for industrial scale.
This is a 3-day event, and we are going to try to speak with as many people as we can to try to find out what they feel are the most pressing issues facing the oceans, what they feel the solutions are, and what the general public can do to help. So let's check out what everybody has to say. Hope you guys enjoy the show.
I'm Dr. Polio. I'm with the Fish and Wildlife Service, and I think the most important thing that we need to think about as far as our oceans are concerned is that it's not an infinite resource, that everything that we do affects the ocean, and it is starting to really make an impact with acidification, pollution, climate change is affecting it as well. And what can we do? I think we need to think more about how what we do affects the ocean, and we need to start reusing, recycling. We also need to start thinking about where everything that we use comes from, and it comes across the ocean. So we need to combine all the information and educate people on how important the ocean is to our everyday survival.
Hi, I'm Melissa Verdor, and I work with the Census and Marine Life, which was a 10-year program, actually a global program with 80 countries involved and over 2,700 scientists. And we were working together to try to figure out what the diversity, distribution, and abundance of marine life was in the ocean. And we looked at the past, present, and future. So we had a historical component that looked at what past populations were. We had 14 field projects that looked at everything from microbes to whales, from every ocean realm, from the deep sea to the Arctic to the Antarctic. And then we also had a future modeling program that took all the information from the past and present and tried to predict what might happen in the future to marine animal populations. Let's say, you asked me what I think the biggest crisis that's faced in the ocean. I think I would say that it's definitely a misinformed general population. I think scientists really need to focus on how they can communicate to the everyday person. It's not something that they've been taught, and in speaking with a lot of people at this conference and in the past, I think it's something that we really need to get into graduate scientist education. So every college student should probably get a course in how to communicate. It's something that we're not necessarily taught. Scientists often can speak over people's heads using terminology that the everyday person is not going to understand. So I think it's imperative that we get them to learn from an early point in their career how to speak to the public. And then, it's still the public's option to listen or not. We can never change that, but hopefully if they're more informed, they can make better choices on their end and help support science.
Hi, I'm Hillary Goodwin, and I work for the Consortium for Ocean Leadership in Washington, D.C. It's a nonprofit that hosts multiple research organizations. I think the biggest problem facing the oceans today is overfishing. NOAA tries to manage our fisheries through quotas that fishermen have a certain amount of fish they can land per year. The problem is that these quotas are determined by maximum sustainable yield, which is a theoretical number. And we fish populations to the brink, and they don't have the time to come back and reproduce. The particularly top predators like sharks and bluefin tuna It takes them a long time to sexually mature and reproduce young, and it's very easy to wipe out a whole year class, is what they refer to it as. So we need to be informed consumers when you're out there buying fish in the market. Ask people at the grocery store, where does this fish come from? Was it wild caught? Was it farmed? Was it sustainably caught using trawl methods, which are not sustainable? Longline fishing also has problems, such as bycatch. Catching tuna, you bycatch turtles, seabirds, sharks, and unintended fish that you don't want. So as a consumer, it's very important to try and do the best to produce and buy sustainable fisheries.
Hi, my name is Allie Dodson. I'm with the Consortium for Ocean Leadership's National Ocean Sciences School program. And we're really trying to get outreach to students and get them involved in the marine sciences. And one of the things I think, actually the most important thing about ocean issues is getting the word out and reaching out to students and young people about the oceans, because I think there's a lack of understanding in the issues, and there's a lot of skepticism out there. So I think that's what our program strives to do. We reach about 2,000 students every year, and we're just really trying to get them involved, give them some hands-on activities, and give them as much information about the oceans as possible.
What do you think the general public can do to help out?
I think, do their own research. Try and figure things out for themselves and not just listen to the rhetoric that's out there. And I think definitely, taking in all sides. I think that's a really big problem that, people sort of pick a side and don't look at all aspects of it and see how we can, attack this issue.
Hi, I'm Amanda Williams. I'm the GIS analyst for the Khaled bin Sultan Living Oceans Foundation in D.C. And we focus on coral reef research because we can't focus on all the ocean issues, so we really try to focus on one. My personal opinion is that while there are so many ocean issues facing our world, between climate change, pollution, overfishing, reef degradation, it can seem overwhelming as a general citizen. But I believe that we are really lacking in awareness for young students, as well as the mainstream media not getting enough press for all these environmental issues. So if we can get the general word out that, hey, these are our problems, here's what you can do to help, we really need to get a lot of people together. I think we can make a bigger change in the ocean there. Right now, it's pretty much just that people think, I can't make a difference, and you can. Get your friends together and go to a rally, donate to something if you feel like it's a worthy cause, and just try to get the awareness out there, and that'll make a big change, I think.
I'm Bob Reese. I'm an author. I'm writing a book on the Arctic to be published in 2012. I'm here not to look at oceans in general, but the Arctic in particular. And I would say that one of the primary problems facing the ocean and the Arctic is that the public doesn't think about it and doesn't realize that what happens in the Arctic will affect every American in profound ways, that the Arctic's changing now, and that if we don't pay attention to it, the country will be left behind in terms of environment and security and a host of other issues. So what would I suggest? Well, I guess I would suggest educating yourself about the Arctic if you're interested in it, reading about it, reading about what's going on offshore, reading about what's going on with oil and gas up there, with the ice melting, with the climate changing, with the endangered species, with the border wars that maybe, well, wars is the wrong word, potential border conflicts up there, huge amounts of territory that could be up for grabs up there, all under the sea. I guess that's what I think.
Hi, I'm Wally Klughers, and I'm attending this conference on our changing oceans. And I think the biggest issues that are facing our planet, as far as the ocean's concerned, is the changes that need to be made that would affect so many people's basic pocket, that would make it very difficult for the change to occur, which is understandable if the change would cause them financial duress in a way. Although the changes need to be made, I think that's the biggest issue, is getting people to change and having all the government, everybody helping to let these people change, to make the changes occur, and them not suffer financially, which is a big issue, and it's an understandable one. And I hope that this will work out over time, but it's definitely a hard issue. Thank you.